Fellow Toastmasters and the most welcome guests of the room, welcome to the Speakerthon. And to mark today's special occasion of it being such an amazing event, I'm doing something very bold with one of my speeches. That's right. I'm using the lectern for the first time in years. I'm using the lectern. Now, if you're a regular viewer of my speeches, you'll know I never use this, ever. I usually like to have the whole room focused on me. I don't like something in the way. Those of you who saw my first ever Toastmaster speech, and we're talking a number of years ago, will remember, and for those of you who need to remember this job, I talked about how I came from a performing arts background, and from that discovered that public speaking was actually what I really enjoyed doing. I enjoyed being up on the stage, being able to speak, to act, which was always my favourite part of performing arts. Couldn't sing, couldn't dance to save my life, that was always the one that helped. But one thing I realised, and that I've noted over time with all of my speeches and the way I deliver myself, is I can be very expressive. As you can see right now, I'm very expressive with my hands. I love to walk across the stage, I love to check in on all of you. I love a bit of that audience interaction. But sometimes that can just be a bit much. And realistically, when you're giving a speech on a stage, you want the person to think about the words you're saying. And where am I going with this? About 2 weeks ago, give or take, and my maths on my dates is not very good, I attended an event. I attended a poetry event hosted by the wonderful Gordon, sat here today. And I had a bit of a shock when I walked through the door, because I walked in the room, got a drink, sat down in the back row, and I looked over, and Gordon and his poetry friend, I've forgotten his name, that's really bad, Neil Thogo, were selling some of their pieces of work. And I looked, and I did a double take. I went, hang on a second, that book looks awfully familiar. Where do I know that book from? Turns out, this book was published in 2020, and turns out, not only had Gordon published a poem in this book, but so had I. And I'd completely forgotten that I published anything in here. And as bittersweet, as lovely as this was, it was incredibly bittersweet as well, because it made me realise I've not actually written any poetry since this publication 5 years ago. And one thing I noted with that was I love speaking, and I love telling you guys things, but I love performing as well. But the one thing I know I need to work on the most is what I say. Now, Gordon mentioned at the beginning of this Toastmaster evening that you should find a way to speak about things that make you enthusiastic. I'm going to add to that a little bit. I'm going to say, find a way to speak about the things that make you enthusiastic, but make sure the way you say it is enthusiastic to you as well. So Toastmasters, after 5 years of not writing anything, I am going to stand here, not move, and read a piece of poetry that I've made for the first time. So I'm terrified, but I hope you guys will like this. This poem is called Going, and I hope that today this poem resonates with you as a way of finding yourself, being true to yourself, and communicating who you are in the most authentic way possible. They say to keep going, but what does going mean? Is it pursuing the cogs of time? Is it the requirement to be seen? Because if we're seen, it means we're okay. And if we carry on, well, it's just another day. But that, for one, is a selfish view. For others, it's an excuse, but it's worse on you. To define the word going as means to carry on in places that you know deep down are nothing but wrong. Going is seen as grit, a way to muscle through, ignore the emotions, ignore the fall through. Yet the ugly undercurrent does not lie. This will choke you, consume you, lie upon lie. Drumming on should not be silent. Who wrote that playbook? The word drumming is forefront. Let your emotions unhook. And then you stand up. Look at the mess you made. This will not define you. This is your aid. Take your life as it is. Look forward, look back. Am I appreciative of life's challenges? Did I approach or attack? There is nothing in this life that causes more soul decay than defining accomplishment beyond your own way. What I mean by this is what we face, say and do should not be defined by a collective view. I'm not saying life is effortless because we all set a scene, it's a beautiful mess, so many of us try to clean. But we all know it's false, nothing but a parade. There's no point in pursuing an empty charade. Aside from harming no man, the things we cherish must be of our own definition, for there we will flourish. The acts of the everyday should go beyond another's recognition. Sip the coffee you like, sing the songs you love to listen. Forgoing is defined by love, by yours and yours alone, taking the challenges of the everyday and making it home. So when I ask you to keep going, I don't mean success. I mean taking each day and doing your best. Fellow Toastmasters.